What's up, everybody? We are here for another episode of Abby's Abode, and we have quite a bit to talk about. We
Oh yeah.
started throwing around some ideas last week, and lo and behold, hey, we got some stuff to talk about this week. So, uh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring us on screen. I'm not on camera, but um, we have Abby. Jody's on
Mhm.
camera. How are you, Jody?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Ready to dive into all things howdy and
Yep.
some of the stuff that we're seeing and different news that's dropping and rumors and all that stuff. So yeah, it's an exciting time. I have Kyle up on screen, and as all of you know, if you were here last week, Jody announced that we will have an exclusive interview with Kyle Scarborough on our channel next Monday. So Tuesday. What is today? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Tuesday. Next Tuesday, April 23rd, we will be here with Kyle Scarborough. And I just want to play a quick little video just to kind of build some anticipation and hype up, this thing. And please share this. And I know I think Joe shared it on Insiders. Um, earlier, but please share this and let folks know because we want to be here to support Kyle, but two, I know all of you really want to see some of the work that has never been out there before, but also hear his stories about his connection with Wyndham.
Not to mention, it's an ask me anything style interview.
Right,
That was his idea.
right.
So you can ask him anything you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this video kind of shows what's up, Dom? And let me do this too. What's up, everyone in chat and watching? We thank you all for joining us. Again, if you're just tuning in, we will have an interview with Kyle Scarborough next Tuesday, April 23rd, folks. So here's a little quick video, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it and how you can submit questions, and then we'll get on with the show. But here we go. There we go. All right. So Jody, tell
Mhm.
folks how they can get questions to you and possibly have those questions asked to Kyle next week.
Obviously we're going to be taking questions from the chat.
Yep.
We'll try to get everybody's in. But we may miss a couple. It just depends how many people are here. But if you want to submit them early because you're not gonna be able to make it, shoot me a DM on Twitter. It's at Jody Deb, which most people know. And yeah, I'll make sure that your question gets asked.
And that information is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So yeah, hit Jody up. Let her know if you have questions. I know we all have questions, right?
Mm,
We all have a lot of questions.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I am I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what he's gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Excited that he chose us
He
as
did.
a platform
He
to
did.
share. So that's awesome. We he's forever a friend of the channel. Not just because of this, but his kindness and just his graciousness with us to be to come on and share some of the information he has and maintain that friendship with Jody. I know they're good friends, so yeah, that's it. It's really awesome for a channel like ours to be able to have someone like him on our platform.
Yeah, and he deserves his spotlight
Right.
for all the hard work that he did with Wyndham. So it should be coming from the network and the company. Um, that's where it should have come from. So I know that we're not them. So, but I'm really honored that he chose us to share kind of his side of the story and what things that they didn't say, which can be understandable. You can only get so much in a documentary, but I'm honored that he chose us to share his side of the story.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of the concept art beforehand, so I'm familiar with a lot of them, and I kind of know a little bit. And I mean, you guys need to watch because he's gonna blow your socks off. That's all I'll say.
So I'm going to throw out a challenge to everyone that's watching, everyone that watches this back. Next Tuesday, I want to challenge you to bring at least two fireflies with you.
Mm-hmm.
Encourage them to come and watch live next week. Two fireflies. That's not a lot. That's not a lot to ask per person. I know we all know a ton of folks, ton of Bray supporters, and um, I'm really looking forward to this conversation because again, like you said, him being able to have the opportunity to tell his story. Um, I won't be nasty about it, but I'll just say I feel like WWE dropped the ball by not having him included in that documentary. And
Oh, yeah. He was the first person I messaged afterwards, and I said,
yeah,
I was looking for you in that documentary. And he was, and he was like, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, it really should be coming from WWE. His flowers, and we're not them, but we will do our best to make sure that he gets the recognition that he deserves. So,
exactly.
also, win-win for us. This could be potentially be a big thing for our channel too, because I guarantee you some of the stuff that he's going to tell you guys and show you guys will end up on the dirt sheets.
Yeah.
Like there's some really good nuggets of information in there.
Yep. So yeah, share it around. Let folks know. Be here and listen. You can watch from Facebook. You can watch from YouTube, Twitter. I'm going to be working on this connection to Instagram. So hopefully by then we have it so we can be live on Instagram at the same time as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And Joe and Jody will be kind of running point on the questions and everything. I'll be in the background because I feel like we're gonna have some chat questions, and I want to be able to kind of funnel those to Joe and Jody. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it should be a good time. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, Jody, let's start with some music, um, and we'll go right to Caleb's corner. So, I know you had a video that I have here, so just let me know when you'd like for me to play it.
Yeah, so he has posted, I think he does it on all his platforms except Twitter, for some reason. But yeah, Instagram, TikTok, he's been hanging out with his guitarist and singing some music. So make sure you go check out his social media and find those, because he, hearing that man sing is just awesome. And he did like a Black Crow song, and I think it was a Zeppelin song that Led Zeppelin song. They did add a couple of shows to the UK tour. They're going to Ireland for a couple of dates, which I know he's going to be excited about because he's never been there. And my good friend Karen, I met her at the very first Meatloaf show that I went to, and I was by myself, and I had gone up there because I was like, oh man, I want to go see him. And I was like, I'm okay going by myself. I'm a big girl, whatever. So, and I met her in the line, and we just hit it off, started talking, came to find out she was actually friends with Meatloaf. And we just kind of, we stuck together after that. And we've been to the England shows, and we ended up on the same flight coming home. That was not planned, but we ended up on exactly the same flight coming from England back to the States. And she doesn't live far from me. So anyway, we just have a bond. Almost every show that I've been to has been with her. So, and all the shows going forward, like I wouldn't go without her. She's my meatloaf buddy. So anyway, long story short, she got me a birthday video from Caleb for him to say happy birthday, because I still haven't seen him since Bray passed away. So when he started singing happy birthday, I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't say anything about Bray. And what does he do? He says something about Bray. So hopefully I'll get to see him soon. And yeah.
All right, we'll play the video right now.
Jody Gilly, what is going on? It is Caleb Johnson here. This video shout out message was brought to you by your good friend Karen, who loves and adores you. And apparently it's your birthday. So I'm going to sing you a little happy birthday ditty. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jody. Happy birthday to you and many more. Jody, happy birthday. Wishing you all the best, all the love. I know you're still going through some stuff with losing your good buddy Bray. He was gone from us way too soon. Oh, dropped something. He's gone way too soon. A tragic loss. My condolences to you and his fan base and friends and family. And hope to see you guys at the show soon. Karen, I think I saw you at New York, Staten Island. So maybe, Jody, I'll see you sometime on down the road. All the best. Peace, love, rock and roll.
He's such a goof.
There you go. So that was awesome. Dude is a powerhouse of a vocalist. So
yeah, it's insane. And if you're new to Caleb's Corner and you don't know who Caleb is, I did an interview with him on our channel. I don't remember when it was. Thanksgiving? Just after? I don't remember. It was like the beginning of the year, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah, go check that out. And it was such a fun interview. We did some rapid fire questions. He's a huge nerd, which is one of the reasons why I love him. So it was fun to talk about that. And he's a big horror fan too. So we talked about that a little bit. So yeah, it was a really fun interview. He was very, very sweet to come on, and he actually gave us some exclusive information about his new music that's going to be coming out this year. So go check out that interview, because I've spent, like, the time that I've spent with him, it's been, 5 or 10 minutes, after a show or before a show. So getting to actually spend, it was like 45 minutes actually talking to him. I was like a kid on Christmas morning. I loved it. So also go check out his website. It's calebjohnsonofficial.com. You can get merch. And if you want to buy video from him, the link is on there too. It's kind of like a cameo kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be a birthday video. It can be whatever you want. So that's how you get a video like that. And it was beautiful. So Caleb, I appreciate you. Thank you.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Yeah, he's very talented. And yeah, go check out that interview. Great interview Jody had with Caleb. And yeah, go check it out on the channel. Drop a like on it, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Really awesome work though by Jody in that interview. So Jody, the time has come where we will talk about some professional wrestling, and in particular, we are going to talk about the teases and cryptic messages that we've gotten. So, we had some activity on Twitter.
That was funny. So we had those 2 tweets on Twitter, and they got deleted like not long afterwards, but obviously not before a bunch of people saw it. And I don't know, that's just clever. Like, that would have been cool for Bray to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He might have, and we just didn't see it because they deleted it. But yeah, they a couple of tweets there kind of hacked them. The first one is, hello, hello, hello a bazillion times. And then the second one is you forgot us, which is an interesting statement. And,
Yeah.
It's kind of the White Rabbit stuff all over again. And I love it. There's so much to, and I'm going to give credit to C Wrestling for this, because that man is so fast, like decoding stuff. I mean, to the point where, like, I will never forget him telling me what Bray wrote on his, when he met Bray, what he wrote on his figure that he autographed. And he said, "Thank you for seeing things most cannot."
Yeah.
So he's very, very good at that. And I come to him a lot to kind of talk about that stuff. So this is really cool to be able to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to C Wrestling. Go, if you haven't subbed to C Wrestling, first off, you're way behind. Second, go subscribe and drop a like on his videos. I know he's had a few come out recently, so go drop a like on his videos and leave him a comment. Let him know how much he's appreciated. And I mean, he really is the man. So yeah, definitely give him some love if you can. If, like I said, if you're not subscribed to C yet, then we need to catch you up.
Mm.
So we also got some glitches on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And this, and that you forgot about us.
Yep.
One pops up here. So,
well, and everybody, the initial thing that I thought about when I saw that, like, you forgot about us, I remember in that promo that Bray did when he was doing the news, and Uncle Howdy, you had that part of Uncle Howdy saying, "I am all of us." So I think there's a connection there between him saying, "I am all of us." Now we're seeing, you forgot about us.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting there like Neville and Harry Potter going, "What did I forget?" I need my remember-all.
But let me ask this too, and I want to ask this of the chat as well. Do you think there is significance to when these glitches happen, with certain people being involved, or do you just think it might be random and not really targeted in any way?
I think it's like the White Rabbit stuff. So I think it's random. There may be some purpose to it, because I think the QR code that we got last night was during the New Day entrance.
Yeah,
and then the "you forgot about us," I think, was during I always get them confused.
Was it a Naomi match?
Was it?
I'm not sure. Someone in chat remind us.
But this, I mean, it feels so much like Bray.
Chelsea. Okay, Chelsea Green.
Chelsea. Okay.
Gotcha.
And it's so much fun to look for Easter eggs again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate that it's not Bray.
Mm-hmm.
That's, hard.
Right.
But I still feel like we're getting pieces of him. And I know that his brother, Taylor, would, he's going to do everything he can to honor his brother. So I think we're going to get a lot of Bray-ish things. I think he'll do his own spin on it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll keep the Howdy persona. But as far as like the Fiend and stuff goes, I think he'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
Just my personal intuition. I think, that was going to be his last character that he was going to do. And I think he's just be like, that was him. I'm going to leave it with him, especially with how special that outfit was.
Right.
So I think he's going to leave the Fiend alone. But that doesn't mean that we don't see the Funhouse again, or, we're at the point where we're trying to figure out who is us. We've had Howdy say, I am all of us. Well, who's us? Because now he's saying, you forgot about us. I'm like, what? Who's us?
Yeah.
So
I think this is a good question here, Jody. Eric D22B asking, do you think he will talk to Bray from the other side?
I think that depends on where he is in his grief journey. My instinct is to say no in terms of actually talking to him, but feeling his influence, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, if he can do it in a way that, like, Bray is the voice inside his head, but we don't really hear it. It's kind of like the Fiend doing the hurt and heal, but, like, Bray's the voice inside his head.
I had someone, and I won't say their name because they don't want to receive credit, but I was like, that's such an awesome idea. I think that needs to be shared on the show. But they said, what if he does talk to Bray, or Bray is communicating, but it happens when Bray wants to communicate with him, the lantern starts to flicker.
Ooh.
And that's kind of a sign that, okay. What do you think? What do you think in chat? Let us know about that idea. And Jody, what do you think about that? Because that never crossed my mind.
Yeah. I mean, that depends on if Howdy's going to have a lantern.
Right.
I would assume he would, because when Bray came out with that mask initially, when he first came back, he had the lantern. But I love that idea. Like, you see that so many times in horror movies.
Right.
All the time, that there's little signs everywhere, that things will move or whatever. But I could definitely see that. That would be really neat.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did at the end of that documentary too. The lantern lit up.
Right. The rest of his thought was have the lantern flicker, but have it in Howdy's version of a fun house, like maybe like a cabin or something with a rocking chair. Yeah, the other side of the door with a rocking chair, and have the lantern like sitting up on a table or a mantle of some sort. But I thought it was a cool idea, so I wanted to see what everyone else thought. So
yeah, I love that.
I love it. So Jody, on Monday night, last night, we got a QR code.
It was so fast.
It really was.
Like, you had to be ready because it flashed for about 0.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And, when this whole stuff was happening with Bray, we kind of were, but I wasn't expecting them to bring QR codes into it yet for some reason. I don't know why. But now we know that we have to look everywhere all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So you sent over these images, and this is, let me not go that far yet. So we got these images here.
So the QR code took you to this page. And there were two pictures, one on the top and one on the bottom. And basically you had to put them together, like overlap one with the other. And it gave you another website to go to. And the other website took you to where that Plato's thing is with the video underneath it. and the video, it was like a bunch of flashing images, and it was, you know, time to wake up, take my hand, things will be better, trust me. And then we saw two figures. One is a mockingbird or a nightbird or whatever it was. One is the bird, and the other one is a symbol. And if you look it up, and this is how amazing Twitter is, because I got tagged in so much stuff, and, you know, all of us are kind of doing it together. So the symbol on the bottom actually is the symbol for Pluto, which Pluto means something about rebirth and associated with secrets and monumental metamorphosis experienced over a lifetime. So Pluto is like, it symbolizes rebirth. And so then we started digging into what this picture meant. And it is Plato's, it's a thing from Plato. And it's basically being careful of your perceptions of things. So this is showing that, like what it says, prisoners are bound by our perception. We're fooled into thinking our perceptions are real. So you've got someone holding the physical thing in front of a light, and then it's being shown on the wall as a shadow. So basically it's saying that, you know, for me personally, that we trust the shadow instead of the object. And, you know, we mistake, like what it says there, that we mistake the shadows for reality, not realizing the real thing is behind you. And I love, again, that they've brought light into it.
Right.
You know, Bray saying he'll always light the way.
Yeah.
And that's what it says about Pluto. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say this was the slide on Pluto for those of you who were listening to Jody mention that earlier.
So then my husband started digging into the code, the actual HTML code. And there's a lot of things in there. And people have sent me them too. So, you know, credit to all of them. But in the image container, it says, "You didn't want us." There's another one that says, "Patience, it's almost time. Knock and it shall be opened." So if you go into the actual source code, there's so much in there to dig into. And then that goes back to, like you just showed, Jeff, a tweet that Wyndham did back in 2022 when he said, "Patience, it's almost time." So now we're seeing that again. Yeah, and that was another part of the source code, I believe, about the door.
Yeah, the door.
I'm trying to find my picture of it. The HTML source code says, "An open door is a welcome that makes a stranger into a friend." So that goes back to the Funhouse episode where he says, "Strangers are just friends you haven't made yet." Like, there's so much to dig into. It's insane. And then somebody else pointed out the file name of the two pictures that the QR code took you to. One of them, it looks like at first you're like, it's got to be an anagram or something. Like the letters are all jumbled up, but they're not. One of them is called Epicalypsy, and then the other one is concomitantium. I'm gonna mess that. I know I butchered that, but the first one, the Thank you. The first one,
I was looking for it.
Picalypsy, that's a Greek word that translates to revelation or apocalypse. Often used to refer to a disclosure or a sudden realization of profound truth. And then the other one, which I'm not going to try to say again, it's a Latin word that translates to concomitance in English. It refers to the state of accompanying or occurring at the same time as something else, especially as a result or consequence. How wow. I mean, it's deep. Very. Like, we are way down the rabbit hole. Way down the rabbit hole. There's so much to it. So looking at this, the bottom one, the Latin word that says it's going on at the same time as something else. What if we see Bray's story through Howdy's eyes? Because it's saying it's occurring at the same time as something else. He just has another perspective. So what if we see Bray's story through Howdy's eyes?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. I'm curious to hear what folks in the chat say, because that's a very deep question.
So he was, showing that he's the one in control the whole time. Remember that little promo that he did where Howdy comes up to Bray and puts his hand on his shoulder, and Bray is watching himself. Yeah. What if we get little moments like that, like when Alexa turned on Bray at WrestleMania? What if we get another quote unquote clip of that, but now we see that Howdy's behind her?
I like that.
Like, Howdy has always been there.
Yeah, I like that.
And now we're going to start seeing how he's always been there.
That's good.
So maybe we see him in the Funhouse. They can superimpose somebody into a Funhouse episode. Mm-hmm. They don't have to re-record it, especially with how AI is right now. But you literally could put Howdy in old Funhouse episodes and show how he was always there.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, I almost like, do you remember that scene in The Conjuring? The first one, where Ed and Lorraine Warren are talking about it's always been there. It follows you around. It attaches itself to you. And you see scenes from the movie that you saw before when you didn't see the entity, but now you're seeing the entity following the family around. And that's kind of what I thought of when I was looking at what these words really meant.
Yeah. Wow, that's fascinating.
So I wonder if we're going to see Bray's story, but show how Uncle Howdy was always there.
Wow. Yeah, that's wow. Pyrus Wrestling, I hope I didn't butcher that, saying Uncle Howdy first feud needs to be Bobby Lashley is the perfect re-debut. Do you agree, Abby?
Yes. I think that would be appropriate. Depending on, where Bobby Lashley is in terms of a feud.
Right.
Yes, Negan Mox, thank you. There was something related to Pluto where it mentions being told from the side of the brother. That was the Plato's thing.
Okay.
That it's a story told through the eyes of the brother. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's deep.
So I literally wonder now if we're going to get the story from Howdy's perspective.
Yeah. Wow. The King.
Deanna saying perception is truly how we perceive it. So, perception is in the eye of the beholder.
Right. The King saying, what if we see a faction with all the people in the documentary? What do you think about that?
I think we're going to see a faction, period. I think there's going to be some people involved in this. And, I think we may see Braun come into it. We might see Rowan come into it. And I also think we might see Alexa come back into it. Matt Hardy's a free agent, so maybe we see Matt come into it. That was something interesting.
Well,
Matt Hardy retweeted that video.
I was gonna say, I was looking for the slide here. I found
And
it.
a lot lately, Matt Hardy has been posting a lot of matches between him and Bray, saying, "Oh, 6 years ago," says the net or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's posting a lot of things dealing with him and Bray.
Mm-hmm.
So could we see Matt get involved in it?
It's quite the possibility. I mean, he's been very active when it comes to these teases. So it makes me think that he might be on his way back to WWE in some way.
I would love that. And then do you bring Jeff back with it?
Right. That's an interesting question too. Richie Hurdy sketch saying, "What's up, Richie?" Saying, "I just said this hiding in plain sight, but showing distractions to mask themselves."
Yeah, I mean, that's what we see that every day.
Yeah.
Don't look over here at what we're doing. Look over here at what's going on while we do this. The government's great at it.
Yeah.
Not to get political, but they're great at it. Focus on this while we're doing this. This is what's really going on, but we're going to have you see it this way.
Right. Negan Mock saying, "Next week is not only in Columbus, but the anniversary of the first Funhouse."
Yep. I like that idea of the first feud being Finn.
Yeah, I like that too.
I do like that.
Aesthetic Wyndham 6 says, "I hope Jeff brings Willow at some point."
Ooh, I would lose my mind.
I know a lot of people have been begging for that for quite some time. So we got all of these, like you said, the images, and we go through, all of these, take time to wake up.
It's very biblical.
Right.
Again, very biblical, which is great.
This was your tweet.
Yeah. So that HTML source code says an open door is a welcome that makes a stranger into a friend.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So
Deanna saying, "Someone said the original website they sent us to had letters in the code that could apply to people."
So Plato's allegory of the cave.
Oh, let me get to that one, because I know you sent me that one. I'm just trying to find it here. Okay, I think I got it.
So, and it kind of explains how it works, that the fire is behind him. In between the fire and the prisoners, people using puppets or objects, and they cast shadows on the wall. And then the prisoners watch the shadows, believing this to be their reality, as they've known nothing else. Which again, very, very interesting. That it's a technique of distraction and a technique of altering somebody's reality. Them thinking that what they're seeing is real, but what you're seeing isn't real. What you're seeing is a reflection of something that's real.
Man, that's deep.
You're seeing a reflection of something that's real, but you're not. But you're not in reality.
That's deep.
It is very, very deep.
So I guess my next question here is, how does WWE pull off something like that? And I know that I just saw someone giving love to WWE and their production lately, because their production has been top notch. So I'm just curious, like, how do they pull this off? How do you think they'd go about doing this And I want to get comments from the chat too. How do you think they pull that off? I'm curious to get your thoughts on that.
I don't know. I think they continue with the QR codes for a while. And then I don't know. I really don't know. But I have complete faith in them.
Yeah. Deanna saying lights and shadows. I like that.
Reggie said it was all in Bray's head.
Yeah.
Maybe all of it was in Bray's head.
And I saw someone earlier bring up the fun house. Like what if that was in his head?
All in his head. You know, maybe that's why he said to Seth, "How did you find it?"
Mm-hmm.
The fun house was like his safe space.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is honestly,
it's deep.
It's deep. Let me ask this, just get this out of the way. Do you think it's too deep?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think for Bray fans that really dig into this stuff, we have our piece of it, but I also think they're going to keep it simple enough that casual wrestling fans will be like, oh, that's cool. But the people that really dig into it also get their thing. You know what I mean? So it'll be both. You know, different groups of people will get different things from it. Some people will be like, oh, that's cool, but not really dig into it. But then the people who like to dig into it, like us, will be like, oh my gosh.
And I gotta shout out everyone who digs into these things and like does all the research. I mean, it fascinates me to see people put it together. So,
and they're fast with it.
Fast, like so fast.
So fast.
Yeah. Do you think Joe Gacy will fit well with Howdy?
Yeah. I
You do.
Mm-hmm.
Richie saying, I feel this is what was to happen if Bray was still with us. So I'm happy and excited this is happening. A proper hats off to the fans and legacy of the man himself. So let me go there. Do you think it's too soon? Do you think they're fine with doing it how they're doing it? And what do you say to the fans that are not necessarily ready to see more of this world play out?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be weird because we miss him so much. But in a way, if you look at it in a different perspective, kind of like we're talking about in this, you know, this Plato's cave, look at it from a different perspective. We are still going to get Bray in a different way.
Yeah.
So I can understand why for some people it will feel too soon. And honestly, it'll always feel too soon. Always. Because it's not him. But instead of just forgetting about him and just being like, okay, well, we don't have character like that anymore. Let's move on. They've chosen to bring Bo into it. They've chosen to bring Taylor into it and allow him to honor his brother. And in not retrospect, but in addition to, now we get to see, I mean, because Taylor is so much like his brother. Obviously, they're very different, but I think it's, like Nigamok said, is keeping his memory alive, and we get to see that as opposed to, okay, well, what's next?
Yeah.
It's always going to hurt. It's always going to feel weird. But in this way, seeing things this way, we're still getting Bray.
Right.
Like, he's all over this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody knows him better than his brother.
Right. Deanna says it brings us closer to him in an odd way. Richie's saying Taylor's ready in the family, so us as fans should be happy to witness his passion still living through Taylor.
And knowing that Bray drew the Howdy mask.
Right.
I think that's another reason why, instead of Taylor coming back and doing something totally different, but still kind of carrying on the story, they're carrying on with Howdy. And I think that's because that was Bray's creation. So I think that's why they chose to let's keep Howdy story going instead of going completely different direction.
Yeah. I agree. I think I think it's I saw this comment here, Static Marie saying I think it's wonderful and so healing. And I think, looking at some of the reaction that I've seen since last night, everyone kind of doing their, they're doing their research again and all of that. People are feeling joy again. They're feeling connected.
Yeah.
I think that's, where those 2 points, Static Marie and Deanna, I mean, spot on, because it's like you're still feeling that connection.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you that feeling of something familiar, not the same, but familiar.
Familiar. Yeah. And, James Chadwick just said it best. Bray would want them to continue. He even said that to Alexa after he got let go. He said, carry it on. So, yeah, I think they're going to do a good job with it. I think Triple H he loved Bray so much that they will make sure that it's done right.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I have faith in the current regime that they'll do this well, and I think they have the people that can pull it off and do it in a way that honors the memory and passion and legacy of Bray,
Mm-hmm.
but also creates a new lane for Taylor and allows him to, honor his brother and his family. So I'm really looking forward to how they pull this off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to all of us continuing to talk about it, because that's what we're going to do every week.
Right.
We're here and we're going to talk about this and, spread as much positivity and enthusiasm and anticipation as we can. So
it feels good.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I said about the documentary. It makes me feel like I'm getting that extra 5 minutes with him that I really needed. And Taylor doing this kind of gives me the same feeling that we're still connected to Bray. He's still with us all the time. And I think Taylor's going to do a great job with it.
Agreed. I mean, like you said earlier, who better?
Yep.
So
I love
completely agree. Completely agree. Richie saying Bray is forever. That is correct.
Yep. Absolutely. And hey, who knows? Maybe when Taylor's done, Nash will be ready. Or Hyrie will be ready. Or who knows?
Yeah. Negan Mock saying, what do you think the chances are we could see Taylor bringing back the Fiend every now and again? I think that's an interesting question. I want to see how folks feel about that.
I don't think so. Kind of like I said earlier, I think they're going to leave that alone, because that outfit that he created with Jason was so special and so specific to Bray. It had his kids' names on the pants. It had the mockingbird, and it had the JoJo's face on it. Like I think they're gonna leave it alone. That was his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think so. I think they're gonna leave that alone. Personally. And I think they should leave it alone.
Yeah. I agree with that. I know we all want to see the Fiend, and maybe we get some, I don't know, different clips of, things that he did in the past.
Yeah, if we're seeing, past, if we're seeing Bray's past with Uncle Howdy in the picture, we may see clips of the Fiend, but I don't think we'll actually see the Fiend in person again.
Yeah. Like a Howdy version of the Fiend. Okay, so his own version of the Fiend. Negan Mox is saying.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it goes back to you forgot about us and him saying we are all of us. So who's us? There's got to be more than one person involved.
Yep.
So now we're left with who is us?
Right. That's the question. Who is us?
Mm-hmm.
James Chadwick saying Uncle Howdy will be Taylor's Fiend.
Yeah, I could see that and him getting more sinister.
Richie agreeing, saying the same thing.
Yep.
Eric saying it's like the lantern come back on, the whole story carries on, the Fiend is Bray. Could Howdy have a new dark persona of his own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's definitely possible.
All right. So I got to ask this before we go to artwork. So we kept talking about us, and I know that we mentioned some of the names, but if you had to lock it in as you are feeling and thinking today, who do you think joins Howdy?
I think it would be Howdy, Braun, Eric, Matt, Alexa, and possibly Liv Morgan.
Okay.
Think about that too. Like, she's on this revenge tour. She's getting a little dark.
Yeah.
And I think it could be 6.
Yeah.
People. So I think she could be that 6th person.
Yeah. Shane definitely saying Alexa.
Yeah.
Clown saying Bliss, Rowan, Braun, Nikki, and Liv with Howdy. Negan Mox saying Rowan, Braun, Bliss, Howdy, Nikki Cross, and Gacy. Richie saying Alexa, Braun, Eric, maybe Liv. Alexa Bliss Gamer saying Liv is also dating Bo.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe she could come into it. Yeah. She's on that revenge tour, and she's Taylor's girlfriend, so it's possible.
Marvin saying Eric, Rowan, Matt Hardy, Braun, Uncle Howdy, Alexa, and Liv. Alicia saying be patient, everyone. Just wait and see.
Yep, patience is a virtue.
Yep.
And literally, that's what part of that teaser was all about. Patience. It's almost time. So, I don't know. Yeah. I think we're going to keep getting these funny QR codes. I mean, they did it for a while, and they're still playing that song. In the States.
Yeah.
So
that's going to mean something.
Yeah. I think we had 4 games. 4 QR code games before we actually started seeing stuff. Yeah. So it may be a little bit, but have patience. We'll get there.
That is right. We will get there. And speaking of getting there, we're almost at the end of the show, so we're gonna go into our artwork, and see what wonderful art everyone in this community has created and beyond. So, as always, we thank all of the talented artists for sharing their work with the world. So here we go. Here's the first one.
That's a Richie one.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have a soft spot for the lanterns, so
Yeah,
you're very talented.
absolutely.
I love this.
Yeah, that's
Seriously. Like him coming through the door and the sign above the door and the "You Forgot About Us" on the wall. Like, this is brilliant. So, Richie, you're freaking brilliant.
it's amazing. Amazing work, Richie.
This is a Brittany K piece, which again is beautiful. We've got Howdy and Bray. And Bray kind of being, on Howdy's shoulder, kind of in the background, always there.
Mm-hmm. And then you see "You Forgot
About us.
About Us." Yeah, nice touches there. Really good piece.
This is Wrestling Edits. Angel with Burnt Wings is waving on home. And I love that top picture where he's standing like that. I think that's a brilliant picture. And then obviously him in the rocking chair is a good picture. And I love that he put the fireflies in the middle.
Yeah, all great stuff.
You guys are crazy talented. This is another Brittany K. Oh no, this is Blake. And Matt Hardy actually liked this. I think he actually retweeted it, if I'm not mistaken.
This is wild.
It's amazing.
It is
amazing. So you've got the Fiend, you've got Matt, and then you've got Jeff. And I love it.
Absolutely tremendous.
I forgot who did this one. But you've got Bray in the background. He's not gone. His ideas will live on forever. And you've got Howdy, and then you've got the other mask.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much going on in that, and it's so cool.
Great work.
Thank you to Eric, who is our artwork extraordinaire, artwork consultant. Glitch Artworks. I love this. Like, it's very biblical. Again, you've got the lantern, and it's almost like a crown of thorns in a way, but it's barbed wire. Revel in what you are, and then you've got Howdy underneath. It's simple but complicated at the same time, and it's great.
Yeah, all of these so far have just been great. They always are.
You guys are so talented. This is another one at Glitch Artworks. Face Your Fears. The return is coming. And, you've got the lantern, like we talked about, maybe the lantern lighting up when Bray wants to communicate. And then you've got the fire, down below, because that was the last time that we really saw Howdy. He was jumping off of that thing and ended up in a fire pit with LA Knight. So
this was just cool. I wanted to put it in here. This is awesome.
Yeah, so this is the Funhouse display that they revealed. And it's interesting that Lily doesn't have a head.
Yeah.
Her head's on the ground next to her. Something that I noticed. I love the doormat, the let me in door. I love that. I kind of want one of those. But obviously this was Bray's final outfit that he worked on with Jason. And it's so good. The intricacies, only Bray could do that. Hello. I love the hello, you forgot about us. And it's like merged into Howdy, that you've got the bird on his shoulder. Funny story. Why was I scrolling through Temu the other day and found literally it popped up because, you know, it just suggests things for you. And it suggested the bird with the light bulb that we saw backstage.
Really?
And it looked exactly like it.
Wow.
I was like, what? Yeah, it looked exactly the same. It was the bird with the one light bulb with it.
Wow.
That it just suggested, and it had nothing to do with anything else that was around it. I don't even look at stuff like that. You know, I don't look at lamps or whatever. So it suggested that, and I was like, what?
Wow.
So I just went, thanks, Bray.
Yeah. And here's the last one. This is really awesome too.
So this is Anthony Bliss. He did one of the Deleters of Worlds artwork, which I love. That's the version. Oh, it's the version of Bray I fell in love with. So it's great.
Awesome art.
I hope that Matt saw this because it's really good. If not, I can send it to him.
Yeah, he needs to see this. This is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Awesome artwork as always.
Deanna saying comic bookish. Yep. You know how I like that.
That's right. So, folks, thank you all for joining us. I want to throw this in before we get to Jody's final thoughts, but please drop a like on the video. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. We have this show every week. So, and you definitely want to be here for next week.
Yes.
Definitely want to be here. You know what? I'm going to play that video again.
Okay.
Just so people know what's coming up. So if you joined us late, you're not missing this video. Here we go. All right, folks. Kyle Scarborough will be here live next Tuesday, April 23rd.
And you guys will see all of the artwork that he showed me plus more. And I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind. Like some of the artwork that he has, the concept art that he did for Wyndham is insane. You guys are going to love it.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. So Jody, final thoughts before we head out this evening.
One thing that we've learned from Bray, enjoy the ride. Like, have fun with this and enjoy every moment because you never know that you may not be able to enjoy it again. You know, don't get in that situation of, oh, there's more time to do it and then you don't have it. So enjoy this rabbit hole that they've got us on. And enjoy every minute of it because that's what Bray would want us to do.
That's right. Absolutely.
Deanna said strap in. It's going to get bumpy. Yeah.
What's up, Conrad?
So much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Conrad, by the way. Chris Van Vliet said on Twitter, tag like channels that you think need more views, and he tagged us, which was very sweet.
Yeah. Thank you, Conrad. We appreciate that. Always, as I say this all the time, but go subscribe to Conrad's channel, Everything Pro Wrestling. He does awesome stuff. He covers the gamut. So go check him out. Show him some love. But yeah, that's it, folks. That's it for this week. We appreciate you joining us. We appreciate you participating in the conversation. And like I said, we'll be back next week. And
with Kyle.
That's right, with Kyle. And so the rest of this week, we have a lot of TNA wrestling this weekend, Thursday, and then we'll do Rebellion on Saturday. So come check us out, folks. But thank you all for joining us this evening. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one.